Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Honey Flow Show. Hope you guys are doing well. This is definitely a special pop up edition. So, thank you guys for coming through. We got a special guest. He does, amazing shows, podcast talk shows, DJ shows. He's one of the few I've seen on Twitch that's actually really, really knowledgeable when it comes to music. His range is huge, from so many genres of music and especially introducing music too. I had the pleasure of being on his high school raid train, which was a lot of fun. It brought back so many memories for me as well, doing the high school raid. I think that was one of the special ones that I've done as well. And yeah, you guys got to check out his shows, definitely with his talk shows, his podcast shows. He always asks interesting questions. And he's definitely got a story behind him. So this guy's from California, definitely seems got that laid back type of vibe. Is super friendly, has come to my shows a lot of times as well too. So we're going to bring him in. Thank you so much, DGS619, for the subscription. Appreciate you. I just see that on another computer here. We got so many people coming through. Mr. Laddenhouse, thank you for coming here. Inked Sweetheart, DGS619, which is his brother. Another thing I noticed about him too is his family and friends really support his show. I think this is the first show I've seen where it's that much family and friends that come together. So I think that's like really beautiful because it's rare. I'm lucky if I get a friend or a family member to watch my show. So I was blown away when I'm in his chat room. I think he's got his uncle. I think his uncle is Orm 20. Correct me if I'm wrong. We got Icy Vamp, a good friend that's like a sister to him as well. We got Sistar in the building. I saw her, I believe, on his show. We got Ink Sweet. Do we have in the building? Or is Orm his father? He'll probably let me know that. And DGS is his brother. So lots of family in here, which is amazing. So let's bring in Blockbuster, you guys. We got J Swan Music in the building. Thanks for coming through. We did a great interview last Wednesday. Found out a lot of interesting things about J Swan Music. So make sure you guys check out that replay. Okay, let's bring in Blockbuster Music all the way from Cali. Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
doing all right. Doing all right here.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. You got lots of support, lots of people in the building here for you as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Nice turnout so far.
yeah, I'm curious, have you because I know you usually interview as well. Are
Hmm.
you ever on the flip side and doing having someone interview you?
This is the first time on Twitch. The only time I've been interviewed was on my series. I do Feeling the Music series, and I had my Theo, which is Orm 20 production. He interviewed me so he can get into like my musical history.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Now I was curious too, if you've ever, because you really have the voice. Like, I come from radio, so when I hear
Yeah.
the voice, I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy has the voice for radio. Were you on radio before?
I in college we had this would have been 2004, 2005. We had an internet streaming show on campus, Cal State Monterey Bay. So I had a morning show which was 2 hours. I think it was 8 to 10 in the morning, once a week. So that was my thing, and I was nervous when I started that, but as I started to get into it, week by week, I found my footing and got more comfortable and had more support. And then the station got canceled by the campus because they didn't want to deal with the copyright issues anymore. So we got a semester out of it, but that was my uh, one dive into like doing like a show like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because have you had people tell you that over the years? Because you definitely have the voice, like even a sports, I could see you working
Here
at like a sports network or radio,
here and
like you
there,
have that voice.
yeah, here
Yeah.
and there it gets commented about. I had like a nice mellow, soft voice, and it actually works. I know people with the same type of voice, but it works against you sometimes because when you talk a little louder, your throat gets scratchy when you're so used to talking, at a mellow level. So when I've had to talk more and more at work or something, because I work in a restaurant, you get that scratchiness and you have to like, get it out because you're at this level a lot of the time.
Okay. I feel like you could do like Quiet storm hour.
Right.
I feel like you could do like a quiet storm hour with the boys.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Good to see all you guys. Thanks for coming through. I see all you, Carol and Mr. Laddenhouse, J Swan Music, everyone passing through. Blade is Truth, all you guys.
Blade, Jay, Sistar Sirius in the place.
She was on your show the other day, wasn't she? I
Yeah,
think
we
I
got her to appear. She's like, I'm gonna be nervous, but I'll do it for you. And she went
Oh, no,
on.
she's
So
a natural. She needs to start
yeah,
her own show. She was a
she does.
natural.
She definitely
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
We got DJ Big Al in the building. Good to see you as well. So I'm just curious because you know a lot about music. So going back, I mean, when I look at you, I think back in the days, maybe 5 years ago, because again, I think I mentioned to you, I thought you were about
Young.
15 years younger than me. And then I was
Right.
shocked. I was like, how come he's posting kind of the years I graduated? I'm like, that can't be possible, logically possible. Uh, so, and then I found out, yeah, we're probably kind of maybe I'm a few
Yeah.
years, just a few years
Yeah.
older than you. But going back now I know you're kind of your age. I can say going back in the day, what originally inspired you like in music as well?
I talk about the year a lot, 1996, and I used to do a show on Twitch, which was the 9-6 at 9 every Monday nights, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. ish. I did it for about a year. No, actually 14 to 15 months. And 96 was a year when I was in middle school, and I was just locked into music. I always liked music growing up. My parents played a lot of stuff, classic soul, oldies. My brother played a lot of hip hop and R&B, and I listened to the radio too. But when it came to 96, it was about spring, right at the verge of summer. And I told my brother this the other day, like there were certain songs that just clicked and it locked me in. It was Bone Thugs and Harmony Crossroads, LL Cool J Lounge and Remix, De La Soul Stakes is High, Tribe Called Quest, Once Again, Busta Rhymes, Woo Ha. And they just kind of locked me, and I started to pay more attention. So I started watching Rap City on BET, Yo MTV Raps, which is called Yo at the time. It had changed. It didn't have a host anymore on MTV. I watched the public access station, which had videos. I watched VH1, and I was just locked in. And it fascinated me, all these people that, kept coming out with single after single, and I got really locked in. So that was the start right there. Like, and my parents would say I was watching TV, all the time, late night, um, Midnight Love on BET, stuff like that. And I was just caught up. That's where it started. And I wanted to DJ in high school, and I started buying some records, and I never got into it. I just bought mostly ones that weren't available on CD or cassettes, and I can transfer them digitally at the time. Um, but yeah, I wish I had started, but I waited a long time to do the DJ thing. But I was always super into music, and I could tell you anything. Like I made little note cards with countdowns and wrote down episodes and what videos would show. So when they show a repeat, I know what they were showing. I could record it on VHS, a certain music video. Like I have a lot of stuff which would probably blow people's minds, and that's how it all kind of came about.
Yeah, I definitely could tell because your range is so broad, right? You could go from hip hop to rock to pretty much any genre. Is there obviously a favorite genre of yours? Would that be like more hip hop or
Um,
R&B?
you would think hip hop R&B is always my soul, and that's my favorite show on Twitch is You Guys to Chill every Sunday night. It's 7 o'clock, 8, 9 ish p.m. on the West Coast, and then I go for a few hours and I do different genres. But R&B is always going to have, especially 90s R&B. 90s R&B is always going to have my soul on lockdown. So that's always going to be at the top.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. So, how did you start your raids as well? So, you guys, for anyone that doesn't know, he does a raid train called, it's like a high school raid train. So, that brought back so many memories for me. I haven't gone through albums in probably 20, 30 years. And, it just brought so many great memories back of just the moments and the times you had with music, right? So what kind of made you develop that or think of that idea? Because no one has done it on Twitch that I've seen.
Yeah, and I was surprised. What it was is that an Ink Sweetheart, one of my moderators in the chat, she went to high school with me, and we were gonna have our school's 20-year reunion, and we were actually on the committee that started it to get it together. So leading up to it, which was technically our 21st reunion, but COVID had kind of pushed it back. So as we got closer, I started to think, all right, I'm gonna do a week of shows, and I'm gonna break up the genres. So I did one day all alternative rock, one day all dance music, one day like a late night hip hop mix show type stream, one day the R&B stuff. So I did, I think, 5 to 6 shows, and then I turned it into my own show once a week every Thursday for a couple months. Took it off the books, and then I was like, this will probably make a good raid train. I want to hear other people's high school years and what they get and nostalgia and show pictures and stuff. So I brought it back about a year later or so, and we had 5 people, including myself. And then I started doing it little by little, more and more, or kept it, 5 to 6 streamers twice a month. Sometimes I did 3 in the summer, and it started to click. And people, they all said, like yourself, like I love digging into the technical aspect of music that was in that years, finding my old pictures, reflecting on the good stuff in high school, and just locking up my music, from those years. And you got people like Mr. Lighthouse in the chat who wanted to do my parents' high school years, is kind of trying to push the rules of the best way he could all the time. He's like, I'm gonna do Fancy Dancer and Wizard of CV's years. I'm gonna do my grandparents' years. Like, just stick to yours, stick to yours. So he
No, that
behaved. He
yeah, no,
behaved.
that's a great
So,
idea. I love that your family, like, is all this is probably the first show I've seen. Like, I've seen, mother and daughter, duos, father and son or no, father and daughter duos, a mother and daughter on Twitch. I think this is the first show I've come to your show where I've seen so much family. Like,
mhm.
I'm literally blown away by that, honestly, because 'cause I'm lucky if I get, like, one person in my family watching maybe one show every 5 years. So, it's so cool to see how your family is so supportive. Have they always been that way, like, even with your musical journey too?
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, when I started Twitch, nobody really knew. Well, I was watching Twitch for about a year before I started streaming, and I started to get people in, and it's kind of a struggle to get people to see what it's about. It's more than just somebody playing music. There's a community out there. And the first time I started streaming in December 2021, I sent a link to my brother. I said, "Hey, can you hear me?" And I wasn't on camera. I just, "Can you hear my music?" And he said, "Yeah." So little by little, I texted my mom, my dad, Ink Sweetheart, moderator, my Theo, Arm 20 Production, and then started to grow little by little. And they would always come by anytime they could, and they've been supportive ever since. Like, always there. They're they're as much there as they can. And yeah, people, they follow the other chats too. Mike C always mentions about how much the support the family is and how much they know him. Jen Rock is another one who loves interacting with my family. Mr. Latin House has also done a lot for our family. So it's become this big thing, and I'm grateful for what they've been able to do for my side, and also for showing support for everybody else.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's truly awesome, and you can definitely see that, a little bit. That makes, I think, your show different from, so, like, literally hundreds of shows I've watched on here. I think that's a definitely a really special thing. And I'm curious, what is your background too, like your ethnicity?
Mexican.
Oh, okay, Mexican.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you incorporate anything like in your streams, like with your culture or anything? Have you done
Um,
shows that
you'll get
way?
you'll get the occasional Spanish word here and there. That's about it. I mean, I'll do like Latin music here and there and mix it in. And there's Latin rock music. There's pure, Latin. My Theo wants me to do rock and Espanol all the time, and I'm like, I know some songs, but I when I do streams, I like to do the digging myself. If somebody gives me a playlist or a bunch of songs, like, I'll play it, but it feels like I'm not doing it from my end. So I'll take
Mhm.
the mixture of songs given and then also doing my own digging. So I'm like, when I get comfortable, I'll do something like that. But yeah, I sprinkle in stuff here and there, mostly on the oldies and the '70s side. Not so much, beyond that.
Okay. Yeah, you should definitely go back, and I think it would be cool doing years of your parents or your grandparents, or I was even thinking about pulling out my grandpa is like 103 years old, you
Oh,
guys.
wow.
So what I was thinking about doing is in his retirement home doing a show and pulling out music from his era and getting them to play it like on his TV so he could just watch it. And I'm like, "Oh, that'd be," and just pulling out those tracks cuz it's like people still remember that, right?
Mhm.
They even say if you have dementia or like other
Yes,
things in the nursing home, it's like it triggers memories. Music is so powerful, right? For all of us.
exactly. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So you should try to do like maybe a themed out raid like 50s or 60s or I think that would be fun, you know?
Yeah, and I've done certain streams where I focus more like 50s. I've been on raids that have been like battle of decades and actually stuck to a decade.
Mhm.
I've done stuff for birthdays and such. I've done focus streams uh, the only other raid I ever considered was, and actually DJ Franchise was one of the first connections I made on Twitch out of California too. And he would always see my Love 96 in his streams. So he's like, you know what? One day we're gonna do a whole raid train all 1996. I was like, that'd be incredible, but you're gonna get some overlaps on music. And he put together an all-day raid train for a fundraiser. Um, I forget, it was, I think 2022 in the fall or winter, and he got some big names on it, and they all did hour sets, and there was maybe legitimately 5 songs maybe that were played doubled up,
Hmm.
and everybody else picked. They had what's his name, starting from scratch was on there, and he did like
Oh
all
wow.
dance music from 96. um Ebony ATL was on there, she did all 1996. Everybody did pure 96 Spinnerita, and they all did different zones, and I was like super impressed and super pumped. But that was the only other type of focused raid train that we did. As far as what you're saying, but yeah, I'm always open to do stuff. Like right now, it's a little different, but definitely would like to, get connected to some people and do whether it's small or big like that.
Yeah, for sure. And you got some heavy hitters. I saw you the
Mm.
other day interview DJ Neil Armstrong. I
Yeah,
think I have his mixed CDs. Actually, I was going to ask him, but I got a little shy. I was like,
mm,
oh, maybe I'll
yeah,
try to jump on his shows a little bit more. But I was like, oh, snap. I'm like, you interviewed DJ Neil Armstrong. Like that was Jay-Z's DJ,
DJ,
and he
yeah,
seems
yeah,
very, very down to earth.
yeah. He's
Were
a
you
cool dude.
Yeah, he seems really, really cool, and I remember buying his mixed CDs, like, 20 years ago, guys, like, I still have them, it's insane because he's like a musical genius, like, starting from scratch and some of those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was one of the first ones I saw on Twitch too. I saw the first day I saw Twitch was DJ Maxwell because it was connected to Clubhouse Global. And then he was on a raid train the next day, and that's how I saw Franchise, Spinnerita, Neil Armstrong, and and then the next time I saw Franchise do his own thing, he raided Neil Armstrong, and then Neil Armstrong raided DJ Rumor, who has become a great friend. Uh, he's a DJ for the New York Knicks, New York Rangers, Madison Square Garden,
Oh, wow.
and I went back to Neil Armstrong like every Monday for a long time, and we would joke around a lot because he likes to get on people's cases when they don't know music.
Mhm.
So we had to
Oh,
go
yeah,
back
I
and
I
forth.
heard him. I heard him. He
Yeah,
said something to you, I can't remember. I can't
about high
remember what it was.
fidelity because I didn't see it, and he got on my case for that. So
Yeah, I heard that. I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, wow."
music snob, but we give him a hard time, me and some other people. So we made that connection really fast, and that's the cool thing about Twitch is I could talk to this guy who I never knew in my life. He's across on in New York. He's also from Tokyo. He's toured with Jay Z, and we're just talking like normal. And that's always been like the draw of Twitch to me is how easy it is to make connections based on music, but then it becomes more than just music.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
true. How you doing, Jonah? I see a bunch all you guys. I'm sorry, I
Hey,
know I'm missing you guys.
9K9.
We got Jonah in the building and, yeah, 9, K9 as well. He's awesome. We got Chubby Thor in the building and, Diamond Lee. Everyone else, thanks for coming through, you guys. We appreciate you. If you guys got any questions for Blockbuster Music, make sure everyone in the room is adding Blockbuster Music. does a great show, and is busy too, doing podcasts,
What up,
interviewing as
Irish
well.
Dragon?
Yes, Irish Dragon in the building. So how long have you been on Twitch for then? How long has it
December
been?
2021. That's when I started.
Okay, and then how did you find out about Twitch? Was it just the pandemic as well? Like,
The
you know
first time I saw Twitch, my friend Travis, his name is DJ Hevrock. He was doing something during the quarantine days, and then I didn't go back to it until Questlove, because I watched Questlove streams during the 2020 days, and he was in an event on Clubhouse Global. So I saw him one day, and then I thought I saw the link for Twitch. So I went back there. It's like September, October, somewhere around there in 2020, 2021. Sorry, 2020. And then I saw, like I said, DJ Maxwell, and I was locked in because he was doing a happy hour playing like 90s and 2000s, TRL, 90s rock, 90s hip hop. And he had a bunch of commercials going in the background. And I was like, oh, pop culture, that's my thing. So I love this. So then I started to see one by one, and then it just became, part of my life. And from there, it took me about a year, and then I started streaming myself, and the rest is history from there.
Oh, nice. I saw this comment by Chubby Thor. I think I'm missing it. Maybe explain. I'm drawing a blank here. It says, "How did
So
it feel being in the
Chubby
arms?"
Thor and Icy Vamp have been one of the best connections I made on personal connections on Twitch. Icy Vamp came to my stream one day, and I think I think it was Don Perion's chat when we first started connecting and just like saying what up and stuff. And then Chubby Thor was her husband, and
Oh,
came
okay.
in the chat too. And I met them they met me in San Diego, which was supposed to be a surprise, and my brother DGS619 spoiled it. It was still nice to see them, and they came down for my birthday, and I met them there. And then that was a night where we were at the bar, and then I think he told me, he's like, I'm gonna pick you up at some point of the night. I was like, okay, whatever. That's weird, but okay. Like,
Oh,
so
man.
we were at a bar, and with all my cousins. They were like family. We got these two never met before, and they just blended in my family. They connected. They're all my cousins are like, I love you guys. Like, they've been known each other for years. And at one point, he just picked me up in his arms and just went with it. And the pictures are there. And then Icy made an emote of it. So if you're
Oh,
subscribed
I
to
love
Icy
that.
Vamp, she has it, and that we always reference. And I show the picture on my stream every now and again. But yeah, he just picked me up, and I always like to think, what are the people in the bar? What were they thinking on the dance floor? The
That's
dude picking up
hilarious.
another dude, raise him in his arms. Like, what's the backing here? But
That
he
is
came
so
across
funny. He looks like
right.
a rock star. So that's
He
Icy Vamp's
does. He
husband,
does.
right? Good looking
Yes.
couple. You guys
Yes.
are a good looking couple, Icy Vamp and her husband. He looks
Yes.
like he could be like some part of some rock band. And she's got that artistic, edgy edge to her as
Exactly.
well. So, yeah, good looking couple, those two. So we got, okay, so that's funny. Yeah, and you're saying he was much bigger than you as well, like picking you up?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. All I can say is it felt like being in the clouds. It was a heavenly moment, and he knows that. It's
that's
almost
hilarious.
undescribable, actually.
That's funny. Oh man. So did you ever have like any embarrassing times, like anything that was kind of like, oh my gosh, like embarrassing on Twitch at all, like with a show or anything that happened?
Um, Embarrassing. I don't
Or
think
any
so.
funny, maybe a funny moment or memory?
The closest I got was Shiny Crafter in the chat. That's my girlfriend right there. So we got together
Shiny Crafter. Nice.
about a
Salute.
year ago,
Yeah.
and I would make comments here and there about, like, because some of the people in the chat would say, like, oh, are you with anybody, or what's the deal? And then somehow it came up, and I was like, I think there's somebody out there. It's got my interest. So make comments here and there. So then it came to a time where we actually started talking, and then she came in the chat and stuff. So it became more of like almost like a nervousness of, okay, she's here with us now. And so they all like anticipating, who's this girl that has his attention, who's this woman that has him on lockdown. So from then on, it was classic though, and she's been coming in the streams, and I'm a quiet guy, not necessarily shy, but I more on the quiet side. And when I told her I was a DJ on Twitch, she's like, okay. Like she wasn't surprised at all, and I was like, I thought she would be surprised because here I am, I don't talk much, and that was there. But yeah, I think that's the closest I got to being like nervous or
Aw, that's
embarrassed
cute.
a little bit, but or like in the shy zone.
For sure. Chubby Thor says reserved for sure, or more introverted, maybe? Oh, that's so cool. So
Mm.
you guys met, okay, I'm going to talk about aisle 2 now. So, and for all you guys that don't know, aisle 2 is about looking for love in aisle 2 if you're single, or if you're in a relationship and you want to kill your partner, you come to Honey Flow's aisle 2 to restore the love. That's what we do on the Honey Flow show. So you said you guys met like about a year ago, was it? You said?
Yeah, and actually, and a lot of it is my fault for not talking to her earlier because she worked across the street from me, so I'd always go get a chai tea, whenever she worked, and line up a couple times a week. And I've been working in a restaurant for almost 20 years now, and over here in Monterey Bay. And for about a year, I'd always like try to get that moment of where's my way in, and I just, part of it is a lot of it is me like being hesitant, and then also other moments just passing you by. So it took about a year for that opening to eventually get there. And she just told me one day, um, she's like, today's my last day, just so you know. And it's
Oh,
funny
wow.
because the day before that, I had done a stream from the balcony of the restaurant I work at, which looks right over the water.
Mhm.
So I did the stream intentionally, knowing that she might be working, so that I would be carrying my gear back and forth to my car. So maybe she'd see me, or afterwards I'd be able to go into it and get a drink, and she'd be like, "Oh, you're out of your work clothes. What were you here for?" But I went that day, and I always tell her like she looked like something was on her mind, so I didn't get really a chance to really talk to her. And then, um, yeah, the next day, she told me it was her last day, and then I was like working up, what should I say here? What should I say? It's totally so many things went through my mind. And then I just thanked her for all the little conversations we had, her being nice, and stuff. And I walked away and thinking like I should have just done it right there, asked her if she's single and give a number or something. So I knew for sure, regardless, I was gonna do something. So I reached out to my friend who was friends with one of her coworkers. So we linked up on IG, and I guess my friend's friend had been telling her the whole time, like, you guys should get hooked up because you guys will make a good couple. She thought I wasn't into her. I thought maybe she wasn't into me for some reason. She thought I was a lot younger. I thought she was a lot younger, and we ended up being like the same age.
Man,
So
that's
it's pretty
crazy.
funny. But
Aw.
yeah, it took about a day, and texted, and then we got together about a week later, and from there, we started hanging out, and a couple months after, we became a couple.
Aw, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, you guys, it sounds like a rom-com movie. I feel like I'm taking notes here. I'm taking notes. Okay, he thought she wasn't interested. She thought he wasn't interested, 'cause it is
Soundtrack
actually
soundtrack
yeah.
with Lisa Loeb,
It
right?
is actually kind of funny because I get in those situations too. I'm like, "Yeah, that guy's not into me. I don't think so." Like, you
Yeah,
start getting in your head and you're like, "Ah, yeah, they're not," especially in a big city because everyone's like it's so awkward. No one knows how to just do a natural approach like the '90s. It just doesn't happen anymore, right?
yeah.
So, you could kinda get in your head too, like, "Oh, yeah, that he gave me a dirty look. He's definitely not interested." But meanwhile, he's, like, looking, right? So
And I will note
sorry, I'm
that
taking notes. I'm
for
taking
that
notes.
year leading up, we were all wearing masks, around that area still.
True.
So this was all on the eyes. I always tell her that like there was, a good portion of the year where we didn't even see it. It was like this, straight
Yeah,
up, just the
that's so
eyes.
true.
And I think the first time I took off my mask was after I had done a DJ for our company Christmas party, and then because I didn't wear it there, I stopped wearing it at work. I think she stopped wearing it at about the same time. So that was the first time right there. So, but yeah, for a good year, it was just all in the eyes.
That's awesome. Yeah, the eyes. Okay. So if I don't blink like this, will that
Yes,
work,
Jason.
guys? Or will
I
that
like Jason
scare
one's comment.
men away if I go like this? Or not? I don't know. I'm not really
Sure.
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 Probably both. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I like that. I love hearing those stories. Guys, I'm not that cheesy, but I am slightly cheesy. So I love hearing those stories. Now, the real question is does your family approve? Put some ones in the chat.
Absolutely.
Put some ones in the chat, family, fam. If
Absolutely.
you approve, you know,
They
poor
the
girl. She's like, I'm gonna leave the chat room now. Oh
they
man.
actually met because I was in the hospital in last July for about a week. They diagnosed me with pancreatitis.
Wow. Yeah.
So they actually met in the hospital because she was going over there every day to see me, and then my parents came up. So oddly enough, that's where they first met, in the hospital room where I was staying at. But immediately they saw how she was, and they've approved, right away. And they said, this woman is great, and she's been everything as advertised, and she's been great for my life for sure.
Yeah, awesome. I that is so awesome. Throw some hearts up in the chat for them, you guys, for the both of them. And I know you got quite the story as well. And I applaud your courage for sharing it as well. And if you could kind of share a little bit of your story, if you don't mind, I think that would be awesome to share with people
Sure.
and your journey. Yeah, now that you kind of brought up a few things, if you want to kind of share that with people. I know there's so many people going through different things, and that's why they come to our shows, right? It's not just
Yeah.
music. I know sometimes, like, my friends are like, "Oh, well, why are you playing that music?" But they don't
Yeah.
really understand that it's so much more than music. When you get messages of people that are sick in the hospital, I've gotten messages from doctors, nurses saying, I got them through the ER one night. They're having a bad night
Yeah.
during the pandemic. I've had a lot of people, definitely come on my show and lots of interesting stories and share their lives as well. So I feel like Twitch is not just a community of people, but it's also a collective of people around the world that are definitely. Each of us go through different things in our lives, right? And have personal
Yes.
journeys. So to me, when I look at all these IDs, it's like it's not just an ID or a name. There's actually a story behind each person going through something. So yeah, if you want to, if you feel comfortable sharing a bit, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and on that note, like, I always make it a point to let people know if something's affected me, and a big part of that has been on Twitch too. Like, just one little example was like, my daughter went through a health issue last year, the year before, um, maybe 2 years ago, and it was really rough for about 3 to 6 months. But I remember one moment in particular where, um, I'm her rock, and I've always been there with her and stuff, and took her to the ER and came back, and then I came down with COVID for the first time, so I had to have her being watched by her grandparents, and it like broke my heart because I couldn't do anything, and I wanted to make sure she didn't get COVID too, and I was here alone, and I'd gotten like so little rest because she was barely getting any rest during that time too. Um, and I remember just being here trying to get myself back together and also not try to think about my daughter. And there was one moment on a Saturday morning where I just decided to put on Twitch, and I wasn't watching it for a few weeks here and there because I was just not in the zone. And Nerd Chris was on, and she was playing hip hop, and I had seen her streams a few times. And Mike C Music is where I first saw her because he rated into her. And Mike C is a person who I've been introduced to a lot of people where he's rated. And I finally just kind of separated myself to get myself together, and just that hour or so made a difference for me. And I messaged her way later on saying like that meant a lot because of what I was going through, and that helped during that moment in life. And you have all those moments connected to different streamers. So I've always made it a point to tell people, hey, that certain day, this helped me a lot, or this certain day that helped me a lot. And sharing will help so many other people because some people don't like to share, or they just keep it to themselves. And that's why I talk openly about what I'm going through. And that was, like I said, I had pancreatitis in last July. So I was in hospital for a week. And for about 6 months, I lost weight and my diet was transformed because anything I ate would give me issues. So I had to find the right combination and such. And there were times when I could only do liquid diet, and then eventually, build back up. I could do only like protein shakes and, salmon, white rice, like more healthier stuff, anything that didn't affect my system. And I built up the tolerance up through about December or so when I was finally feeling better. And I was feeling really good in life. And that's what this strikes me because, I had a lot of happiness, and years prior there had been other obstacles in my life, and I felt this moment where it was finally good. And then about a few weeks later I started to feel bad, and I thought, okay, here's maybe it's pancreatitis acting up again, which I don't want to hear, but maybe it is. Went to the ER and they said I might have an infection or something. They gave me some antibiotics. Came home. I didn't take the antibiotics because they weren't sure. Um, Let it linger for about a week, and it got a little more intense. And then I went to the ER. They got me in pretty quick, and it was like super fast. They were gonna rush me. They said it was my gallbladder. We got to remove it, and we're gonna get you up to surgery. So it was like bang, 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 and then as they're gonna take me up, somebody came by and said, "Hold up, we're not gonna take him up to surgery. We found something on the CT scan that we want to get another look at." So I was okay, and you don't want to hear those words because you think the worst right there. And so they did that. They got me admitted. They got me. They did an endoscopy, and they checked it out, and wasn't pleasant. It actually hurt a lot when I woke up. And then they said, you know what? We cleared one issue, but we want to go back in there and do a biopsy because we might have found something else. And then once again, that just hit me, really hard. And I was already concerned about how I felt after the first endoscopy. So they took me the next day. They did it again. I was fine, but I had to wait for the results, and I was in the hospital for another 7 days. And they told me stuff and said, you know, you got stuff working for you. You're young, you're healthy, you haven't had a lot of stuff in your life. You've only had an appendicitis pretty much. So things are in your corner, you know, and you want to hear that, but you always look at two sides. You know, you want to be optimistic, but you want to see the reality. So it was tough mentally. It was mentally taxing knowing what's going to come of this result. First of all, I'm in the hospital. I need to get out. I need to, don't want to be here. So they released me, like I said, after 7 days. And I had to wait another probably 7 days for the results, which was another taxing thing. And I remember it was a very overcast day, kind of rainy. And the surgeon called me. He said, "I want to talk to you. We did this. We looked at this. And unfortunately, you have stage 3 pancreatic cancer." And to hear stage 3 is just, mind blowing to begin with, because, you think something sets you up for that, or you feel other symptoms. So they set me up with another doctor, another appointment, to a video appointment to go over it more. And they talked to me about it, and then they did a PET scan to make sure it hadn't spread. And they gave me those results a little later, and same thing. And they said, went over the results, and unfortunately it spread. So you're stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And that's a moment you don't really prepare yourself for. My parents went through bouts with cancer. They both beat it. Prostate cancer and breast cancer, they got it early enough where they didn't have to deal with much of anything. It's still the first part is definitely, a whirlwind for them to go through, emotional side, mental side, and then the first steps of getting rid of that, what they had. But to be diagnosed with stage 4 like that quick, going from feeling happy 1 month to a month later letting told it's inoperable, we're not gonna be able to get this out, we're gonna get you on chemo, and that's the stance, and we're gonna go from there. So, and I still remember that video appointment, because they were telling me the stage 4, and they were showing me the different spots where it spread, and I had to excuse myself from the video appointment. It just hit me too. I couldn't keep listening to what they were telling me, so I had to walk away. And my parents stayed there and listened in. And Shining Craft was here with me, and she listened and came over and consoled me. And I came back eventually, but um, it was too much to handle, and to know. And my first thought is my daughter, 13 years old. Like that's the one thing that just like flew by my mind first before myself, because of how much she's been a part of my life and how much I meant to her life. And me and her mom have been divorced since 2016. My daughter was 5 years old at the time, so that's like a hardship that I had to deal with and build up over the years, and went through like depression and other things. And I've always been there for my daughter. So prepare yourself. When everything went fast, I started chemo first week of February. And I told my parents, I'm like, I I want to let people know the realness of it. I don't really want to hide it and say, I'm going through health issues, or hint at it, or say, um, everything's okay. And that's, people can do that. People can keep it private. They can, do their own battles. Nothing wrong with it. But I always want to share it, especially with this Twitch community, the people I've grown to connect with. I want them to see somebody that they've connected with dealing with it, at the moment, living through life, what they're still doing, updating stuff. And they check on me all the time. There are some people who check on me, multiple times in a week, here and there. And they ask, how's chemo going? How you doing? Can I get into anything for you? Here's a link that might help. They share their stories of what they went through, what their friends have went through. And we've all been touched by family members and friends who have cancer. And that's also a big part of why I'm so open about it, because if you haven't dealt with it, you're going to deal with it at some point. And that's pretty much a fact. And it's unfortunate. But, I want you guys to see that Twitch is a big motivator for me. I go through my chemo week, and then I go through my recovery week, and you see me on stream, and I get to see all you guys. I get to see everybody in the chat. I get to watch the streams and be in their chats. And that really helps me, because my parents and Shining Craft to tell you, there's some rough days, in between those, where it's just like there's zero energy, no appetites. There's super fatigue. You have a lot of mental stuff on your minds of, can I get through this? But you got to lock into the positive side, and that's a big part of it. And what I always tell people is, my lock is future memories. Seeing this particular memory in the future, I want to be there, and there. And that's my strive, regardless of what the doctors said. This is your timetable without chemo. This is your timetable with chemo. And it's all estimates, but it's based on averages and what we go through. And you just want to beat the odds. You want to be part of that percentage that keeps on going and shows something to strive for. And you may see me now, like, hey, he's doing great. And then during my chemo week, you would see him, and it's like, it's a completely different person. But keep on building those recovery weeks. That's what always gets me through it, is to be in this moment right now, to be able to do this interview right now, shows me that I'm in a good state and the process is going. And you keep on pushing and pushing, and use everybody to support and love everybody on Twitch, family members, friends. And that's how you roll with it. And that's all you can do. Control what you can. I have a lot of faith, like we talked about, and that's going to be part of it too. And you gotta combine everything together, and do what you need to do to process, to live through it, to fight, and to do what you can to help others, because it's gonna help others, because they may be going through something very similar, or they lost somebody recently, or they have somebody going through it right now. So it all ties together, and Twitch is a big part of a lot of stuff in my life, and especially during this. And I root for a lot of people and show them support, and I'm at awe with all the support that people have given me, in the chats, outside of the chats, and everything all together.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much for sharing that. I did have, like, I definitely have some friends going through stage 4 cancer right now. So, I get it. And another friend that had pancreatic cancer too. So when you talk about eating, or maybe being able to eat a few bites, that was always hard. Like being able to eat.
It's really
right?
hard. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm really happy to also know that you have faith, because I have one friend, I put her on actually my female panel. I didn't think she'd share because she's more of a private person, but she ended up sharing that she was at stage 4. But and I see her every weekend on Sundays, and she always says, like, if it was it's nothing but the grace of God that I'm still here, like I'm still
Mhm.
breathing. It's nothing but his grace. So I'm really happy that you have like a strong support system around you, and you can see that. Like, I could really truly see that in all the people that have come here for you, and an amazing girlfriend that is
Yes,
coming to
amazing.
the
Yes.
hospital. And that's what you need people to rally around you and support you and have faith for you, right? So if anyone's a believer in this room, definitely it says when two or more are joined together, and when you pray, like pray for healing or pray for a miracle, it could happen. It's not it can happen, it will happen, right? So, and I know there's a lot of people in this room that do believe and share that faith too. So definitely, uh, definitely pray for Blockbuster Music. And I thank you for sharing, because I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
I know some friends like to just keep it private and deal with it on their own. But I think the more you share, the more you realize there's so many other people out there that are going through the same situation. You would have no idea on Twitch, because they're like the life of the party in the chat rooms. And
Yeah.
that was like kind of like my moderator Steph One Love, that passed away a
Mhm.
little while ago, right? Like, she was the life of the party in all the chat rooms. So it's good to be honest and to talk about it, right? And as Orm 20 says, the power of prayer is so true. Like, I believe that like 300%. So even though the doctors give you a diagnosis, we know
Mm.
that like the God we serve is much bigger than. But as you said, also you're kind of, you have faith, but you also have the reality of what you're going through as well, right?
Yeah,
So
and it can definitely conflict, and I think a lot of people can attest to the same thing where they wanna be optimistic, but they know the reality, and it's hard to balance the 2. And I've gone through those moments, like, I that first PET scan, after they diagnosed me stage 3, it's like, I need this to stay stage 3. I need this to give me a chance. I need it. And then when you hear like even more devastating news, and like I said, I couldn't even stay in the appointment, it just further grounds you down, and it just like drops you, and you gotta bounce back up. And I will share that I just had my second PET scan here, which was on Thursday, and that's been on my mind for a few weeks too. It's like, because it's the first comparison, and you dread it, but you want to know and you want to see what direction this is going. 4 rounds of chemotherapy, which have been a battle, and where you're at. And I was actually back in the ER. The raid train on Sunday. I got out of the ER. I got out of the hospital 4 hours before my set, because the day before that I was feeling tired and had a fever. And my girlfriend said, "You feel pretty warm," and I thought I was just out of it. And I went, and they found a blood clot. So they kept me admitted overnight, and now to handle that part of it. But before I went to the ER, I talked to the advice nurse for my health insurance, and as I was waiting on the phone, she's like, I'm going to talk to the doctor here and send the notes and stuff. And I mentioned the PET scan, and she's like, "Have you looked at the message of the PET scan yet?" And I said, "No, the results are on Monday, but I know there's a message, but I thought it was just like generic, like test results are in. I don't want to interpret anything." She goes, "You know what? You might want to look at it." And she's like, and I said that in a good way. "You might want to check it out. Just, I want to put you on hold, but if you get a chance, check it out." So it got my curiosity, so I check it out, and it's the simplicity of my oncologist saying, starting with great news. Um, there's some good results here. We're gonna go over it on Monday. So actually, it made me emotional right there as I'm on the phone, waiting, because I really needed something to lock in for that moment. A quarter through chemo, after the news of the first PET scan, I needed something that boosted. And you think about it, you pray about it, and you hope. and I had that appointment a few hours before this interview, and he went over the stuff, and he said, I won't go into detail, but he said it's great news, and you're at a good spot in your chemo, and
Oh,
it's
that's
it's
awesome.
definitely a good thing. So the
Mhm.
progress is there, and I got to keep going through these rounds, and then after 12 rounds, see if it's everything's still going well, and then it'd be he said it'd be another set with less of the chemo drugs. But that's what you hope for. You want that progress, and like I said, once again, it's just you go through all this and you get to that moment and you want to hear something positive after being knocked down over and over and over, and then you
Mhm.
finally get it, and it just your heart blooms, and it gives you that extra motivation. And that's what I was hoping for, and I'm glad I can share something like that, especially after some of these trials. Like I get that news, and then also I'm back in the ER, so it's like a double thing. But the other one comes up above it. It's like you're doing what you can. You're in great shape, and I'm grateful for that.
For sure, and you look good too, you definitely look good as well. So yeah, just keep going and keep being positive, and, if you get a chance, check out those clips too. Those were
Yes,
some
yes,
miracle stories, like, where it literally turned around for people. So, yeah, definitely do that and continue to have faith, but also, surround yourself, and I know you have, with people that can definitely pray for you.
yes.
Another thing we did with our friend actually is, I don't know if you've ever used oil or if you believe in I mean, I'm not a Bible scholar or anything, so don't throw any stones at me, guys. But like, how they say anoint people that are sick, right? Uh,
Yes.
and one night I had this like kind of, I won't go into all of it, but it was kind of an interesting story with a friend. And something just told me to bring oil. And I'm like, well, I've never done that with oil before. So I'm going through my cupboards and I'm like, these are the weird,
Mm.
conversations I have with God. And I'm like, well, what oil do I use? Do I use virgin olive oil? Do I use coconut oil? Do I use like some West
Tres,
Indian oil
tres
here?
flores for your hair.
Sorry?
Tres flores for your hair. Thank you, G class, for that comment, by the way.
That's what? What is that? Did I miss it? I missed the
Tres
part.
flores is just a thing that the Latin culture used to like use for their hair. But I
Oh,
referencing G class said I had glorious hair still. So
oh,
thank you, G
glorious
class.
hair. Yeah. So if you have like, I know coconut oil, right? So
Mm.
I just brought some like virgin oil. I just stuck it in a little tube or a little thing and we literally prayed for her. And it was a hilarious night though, because I didn't know what to do with the oil, but something in me just told me to bring oil and pray for her. So anoint those that like that want to get healed and that are sick, right? So if there's any body part or anything, you would just put oil on it. So they close their eyes and I just went like this, like I put crosses on on their head like that cuz I didn't know what to do. So all my
Mm.
friends were laughing and getting mad at me. They're like, "Honey Flo, we're not," or I think one of them said, "We're not Catholic. What are you doing? Why are you putting crosses on our forehead?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know what to do with this oil. Like, I just felt in my heart that I should bring oil and pray for you guys. Like, I'm not a Bible scholar. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this stuff." So, but anyways, it just comes to mind because it brings back those memories with friends. And when a friend had pancreatic cancer as well, and just bring in oil, it says to anoint those that are sick. So just an idea. I mean, you can take
Yeah,
it, you don't have
yeah,
to, but it's just something. But it is kind of a funny story between me and my friends because I don't know, maybe I'm a little weird, but I was going through my cupboards. I'm like, what oil do I use? What do I bring? It was funny. It was funny. But you know what? We are going to I got a few actually surprises for you. So
okay.
I wanted to play something for you and hopefully this works. And I thank you so much for sharing that story, like sharing what you're going through. Because
Hey,
again,
my cousin's in the chat. Tina Marie, what up? Also
how you doing,
Gemini.
Tina Marie? We
Hey,
also
Gemini.
got DJ Tila in the chat. Good to see you. Yeah, DJ Gemini, the king of the Prince music. Oh, this is your cousin here, Tina
We
Marie.
got to we got to get Tina Marie on Twitch. Everybody,
Nice.
Tina,
Yeah,
Tina, Tina.
awesome.
Everybody in chat.
For sure, definitely. So, okay, so I'm gonna play you something. I'm gonna see if it works. You did talk about Nerd Chris earlier, so I'm gonna play a few
Yes.
messages that some friends of yours sent me. And
Okay.
let's see, we're gonna start off with. Can you see them actually in my chat when I was bringing them in? I was curious if you could see them
No, no,
backstage.
no,
Okay,
no.
perfect. Because I was trying not to bring them in, but then I had to bring them in, and I'm like, I wonder if you could see them.
Yeah, no, no.
So, all right, guys. So we are going to play. Let's see. How do I do this? I got to figure this out. Um, Sometimes StreamYards. Okay, here we're gonna play Nerd Chris. So she does a show on Twitch, you guys. For the one person that doesn't know Nerd Chris, make sure you're adding her. But she's got a special message for Jerry as well, aka Blockbuster Music. So let's check it out. Hopefully this works.
This is a message for Blockbuster Music, aka Jerry, our friend, our brother, our Twitch fam. Listen, I'm going to try to come and see you this summer. I'm going to do my best. Best wishes to you always. Seriously, always giving that positive vibe. All the time. That chill, positive vibe. All right, y'all? Much love.
All right, now I'm going to play. We got Blade is Truth. She's a gamer on here, and
Oh, okay.
let's see. She's got a message for you as well. Let's see if we could. I'm going to take off this banner. See if we could work this.
Got the
All
fan
right.
on too.
Make sure you guys are adding Blade is Truth too. She's super dope gamer. So she's got an awesome, great message for you too.
Good fam, it's Blade. Just wanted to show you some love and just thank you for being so kind and warm and welcoming whenever I come to your stream. It's always a vibe, always have a great time, and I just appreciate you. You're a kind and generous and warm spirit, and it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Take care, fam. Peace.
Oh my gosh, her voice is like fire. You know, she's
Yeah.
always she's got like the best voice on Twitch. Okay, now we got a little surprise too from your mom. Your parents look so young. Your mom's so gorgeous. I was like, wow, she looks like an older sister of yours. I'm like, no wonder why you look 15
She's
years
gonna love
younger.
that
I
comment.
I need your genes. Seriously, like what facial cream do you use? Seriously, you guys. Everyone looks so young in the family. So this is his mom and her ID. What's her ID in the chat as well?
Fancy dancer.
Fancy dancer. That's it. Because it wasn't showing up here. So let's play his mom right here.
Also known as Fancy Dancer 22, and I'm Jerry's mom. Jerry introduced me to Twitch during COVID, and I'm so glad he did because during all this time, I've learned a lot. I've experienced new music that I wouldn't have listened to before. A lot of great DJs. Jerry's knowledge of music is awesome. I can give him 2 words and he can tell me what song it is that I'm talking about. But I think it's great what he's done, and I think he's going to be doing more greater things. But the best thing is belonging to this Twitch community that is helping him a lot. He loves doing this, and this has given him strength. And I just see how much he enjoys it when he's talking to everybody and playing this music. So I love him very much.
Oh, your mic is off. Your audio.
Go. That was his mom, you
Great.
guys, Fancy Dancer. We also have his dad here. So let's bring him in. I can't believe how young your parents look. Seriously. You know, they definitely look like an older brother and sister to you, but I feel like you resemble your mom so much the way you look. I'm like, wow, like you guys, it definitely looks like an older sister. So his dad looks kind of funky. What's your dad's name again, too, on Twitch?
on screen, his name is Wizard of CV, or when they mispronounce it, Wizardo of
Oh,
CV.
Wizard of CV. Yeah, he looks like he
Yeah.
could be part of like some funk band or something like that. So let's play. I think I heard your mom laughing in the background. Let's play
Yeah,
him
definitely.
as well. Okay, let's see. So this is a message for you too.
Hi, I'm Dave, also known as Wizard of CV. I'm Jerry's father. Boy, the music that Jerry's been playing on Twitch is so great. He's unselfish in the way that he helps the other streamers and brings them together, and that we can experience their music. We've been following Twitch now for the last couple of years, and it's been so great. Just all the different music that he's opened us up to. Um, I can't tell you how proud I am of what he's been doing, and I really look forward to some of the great things that he's going to do on that Twitch platform. I love you, mijo, very much. Keep on playing the music and more cowbell.
So when he says cow bow, what exactly is that?
He's referring to Saturday Night Live, Christopher Walken sketch. Got to have more cowbell. The only prescription is more cowbell. That one.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my
Mm.
gosh. Yeah, he totally looks like part of a funk band or something funky. Now I know, oh my gosh, the time is going so fast and I was going to split up these clips, but because of timing, I think I'm going to just play them for you.
Sure.
So we also have DGS, right? DGS 619. Does he do a show actually?
Yeah, he's been
DGS?
streaming
I
for
thought he
about a
did,
year. He
right?
just hit his year mark. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta check him out. Make sure everyone in the room adds DGS 619. Blade is Truth, Nerd Chris. What about your parents? Have they ever thought about doing a show?
My dad would love to stream, and he tells me he's all play my vinyl on your stream from San Diego. I was like, well, I'm in Monterey. How am I supposed to play your San Diego vinyl on a stream for you? He's like, oh,
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Chevy. Zero, zero, zero. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. And DGS 619. This is his brother, you guys. This is where I know there's so much love in the room for Blockbuster Radio. Like to have all your family there is just that still like makes me very surprised seeing that. I'm like, you guys could tell you're a very close knit family, and that's so special, you know. So let's play DGS 619. Make sure you guys are adding him. This is his brother right here too, and I'm gonna try to get some of these other clips in.
When I think of Blockbuster Music in a stream, I immediately think of the TV show Cheers from the 80s. Remember the lyric and theme song, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Remember every time Norm pulled up into the bar, people would shout his name in unison. When you roll into Blockbuster Music stream, that's what it feels like. Everybody says hi. It's such a welcoming atmosphere. And Blockbuster Music is our Ted Danson. Instead of serving drinks, he's serving up great music. And we're enjoying each other's company and having a good time and laughing, and anybody new that comes in gets the same treatment and that same welcoming environment. Extremely proud of my brother Jerry, aka Blockbuster Music. Every time I see his notification pop up that he's streaming, I'm just as excited to go there as I was the first time I got a notification from him a few years ago when he said, I'm doing a test stream, come and check it out and give me some feedback. Love you very much.
Yeah, all definitely great messages. I got, and I mean, it was a flood of messages. I don't think I could have gotten everyone on because there's just too many people in such a tight knit show. But I wanted to get some special messages on for you. So we also have Icy Vamp, and is it Chubby Thor as well? We were talking about them earlier on in the show. Definitely a beautiful
The arms
couple.
of God, Chubby
Yeah.
Thor.
Oh, yeah. The Chubby Thor. He's the one that picked you up in the middle
Yeah.
of the bar, right? Or restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. How much bigger is he compared to you? He looks like a tall guy
I don't
sitting.
know. I see. How tall is Chubby Thor? So let us know in the chat.
And is your husband a rock star? Like, is he part of some like band or something? He definitely has that vibe and look. All right, so let's play Icy Vamp and Chubby Thor. Actually, does Chubby Thor do a show too? Or is it just
I
Icy Vamp?
wish. He makes appearances every now and again on Icy's stream.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. Oh, 6 feet, she says. So make sure you guys are adding Icy Vamp too. She does a really creative show and a really great person too. So make sure you guys are adding her too.
Right, G class.
So let's play this video clip with Icy Vamp and her husband, rock star husband.
Icy Vamp.
What does Jerry mean to me? Blockbuster Music? Well, it started when he was running a game of who joins his chat first gets points, and I wasn't yet following, so I tried to log in for Icy Vamp here, but I didn't put anything, so she didn't get the credit, and then since then I joined in so I could get my points. And after the contest, I think I ranked like 3rd, but I just got to know him a lot more, got to experience what a good guy he is, got to go meet him, meet his family, and was accepted, and it just felt like a long lost family or friend that you always knew but never knew of until you were just together, and it never felt awkward at any point, which is why I got that really lovely picture of me holding him in my arms, which it's my favorite. But yeah, he just is just so wonderful of a human being, and I just love seeing him, hearing it.
Oh, now you're gonna let me talk.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so I could go on for days.
What does Jerry mean to me? Jerry is my unofficial brother, little brother. His mom gave us that title that we are brother and sister. So, because we harass each other like brother and sister for so long that she's like, nope, you guys are brother and sister, that's it. I don't even know how to put into words what Jerry means to me. He's a little brother I don't have currently in my life before Twitch. He stepped up to be a family member that I really needed at that point in time and continually to need, and him and his older brother, I call my brother too, and his Theo, who's my favorite Theo, and his mom and dad, who I call mom all the time. They've just helped me personally with a lot of stuff I went through during this time, and I literally love that guy like a brother, and there's nothing that, like, if someone says anything bad, I will fight you. I don't care. And I've helped him. I mean, hi Shiny Crafter. So we've helped each other in a lot of things, and he means the world to this entire family, not just him, but our kids too. And yeah, no words can say what he really means to us, but we appreciate him and seeing him anytime we can.
So that was Icy Vamp, guys, and Chubby Thor. We also have, let's see here. I think we got 2 more I'm going to play for you. We got Ink Sweetheart. I love her tattoos. She looks very, very edgy. You know, I love that look, her look. So we got Ink Sweetheart. She's a mod of yours too, right? And a friend, of course.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Does she do a show too? I wasn't sure.
We've been trying to get her doing. She's gearing up, so we'll see when she does it.
You got to do it. You got to do it, Ink Sweetheart. You got the look. You got the vibe. You got to do a show. I'm telling you, it's going to be successful. So let's definitely play her as well. Let's see here.
Homie G. I've had the privilege of calling you a true friend of mine. You really are an inspiration. Your stream has given me more of an appreciation for music, especially with those unknown covers. Plus, having the extra duty of being your mod, that's just a cherry on top. But if it wasn't for you, I definitely would not be part of the Twitch community. You continue to pave waves with your high school years Raid Train, filling the music series and trivia, and you've brought so many music lovers together. You, sir, are an amazing, humble, beautiful human being. Thank you for being you. Much love, always.
Super sweet messages. Love them all. And the last one we have, and I hopefully I didn't miss anyone. I think I got everyone. Your brother was helping me out, so let me know, DGS. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. We got Orm20, so he's actually Blockbuster's uncle, and he's got a message for you as well. So let's play that one.
aka Orm20 production. I want to say that I really enjoy listening to Blockbuster music, and not only because he's my nephew, but because he really brings, all genres of music to his streams, which we all really enjoy. He's like an encyclopedia of hip hop and R&B, as we all know, and he's really expanded my listening pleasures. I've listened to so many great cover songs that he's played in his streams. He's very intelligent. He knows his stuff when it comes to music, and he knows how to. He's a great personality. We all love him very much, and he's doing a great job. I love you very much, Mijo.
All right, so I think that was the last message that I got. What do you think? Man, you got a lot of love.
Yeah, those are some great people, great messages. Thank you for that surprise. I wasn't expecting that. I always enjoy, like I said, the other side of it, where it's more than just the music, and whether it's family or friends, and making that connection somehow, some way. And to see those people, on screen right now means a lot to me. And those people actually have helped me a lot through what I'm going through right now. Yeah, Ink Sweetheart, DJS, my moderators. I just made a moderators one day. I just said, "Here's your sword. You don't have to be here, but here's your sword." So they've taken it, to a T. My parents, my Theo, have been there, supporting me since day one. Obviously more so in life, but also this Twitch world. And then Nerd Chris and Blade is true. Two people I never met in person, made those connections. Blade has been in multiple streams, always kind herself, and always very welcoming. So we always have that connection. Everybody's chat. So we come across, and it started from nothing. I think the same thing. It probably was Don Perion's stream as well. Same thing as Icy. You just keep coming to one stream and you connect with those regulars, and then you see them in other chats, and you start to see them more and more, and they come to your stream as well. And Nerd Chris too has been such a great person off camera to off Twitch, with the messaging and checking in, offering help. I think when I had the pancreatitis, she was also messaging me, telling me, "Here's what you should eat. Here's what can help. Here's what ask for this, ask for that." So she was on top of it. And yeah, there's so many people, obviously more than the messages right there, that have meant directly to me so much. And I know that the support was mentioned. That's one thing that bothers me right now myself, is I can't support as many people at the moment because I'm not in everybody's streams. That's always been a big part of my world, is supporting those who are supporting me, but also helping those undiscovered channels get more exposure. I've made custom shout outs, were more personal, just saying, follow this person, follow that person. I'll put a personalized message command for them in the chat so they can see what they're all about. And that was more so when people were doing more, but I have a bunch that I do. And, I love sending people to other streams and connecting that way. Because there's so many good people out there. There's so many great DJs, and we have all these choices, and somebody's gonna help your day somehow, some way, with their selections, and you don't even know it. So those undiscovered channels, I always try to help out. Jace One and G Class have been two great links as well. When we were doing a little mini raid train called Wait, Who's That DJ, we did for a few months, and helped other people out trying to discover people. And yeah, I always enjoy seeing Jace One on the Rock Guardian every Monday, which is tonight, 7 p.m. G Class, and the Red Cup Spotlights, where he spotlights certain artists and groups. And I always try to promote those, because those are two spots that are great to be at. And there's so many examples out there. Like, I can go on, and whether they're a streamer or not, and all they've done for me and all I try to do for them. And it's always, you want to give back, when people are giving to you, and it's a beautiful thing.
For sure. But also know that people understand, and people should understand, right? Like if you have like 2,000 people you're following, it's a lot of streams. It's a lot. And I know some people may get upset with it, but they may not know what's going on in your personal life, right? Unless if you share it. So
Right.
I know, I'm not really like that. Like, okay, you're not following me, I'm not following you. Like I'm just like over that,
Yeah.
on Twitch. I'm just like, I'm gonna press live and just go, and that's it. If two people
Yeah.
show up, like yesterday, I think I
Yeah.
had eight
Exactly.
people in 4 hours, right? Just eight people. But I mean, the eight people, those were precious to me. It was eight people that were listening
Oh yeah.
to what I had to say, right? So I think people understand, or people should be understanding that you have personal things in your own life, and sometimes you just need to take social media breaks, right? Which I do
Mhm.
like a lot. So especially if you stream for 4 hours or 6 hours, you get tired. So you're like, you know what? I think I'm just going to go offline and get in the real world, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I hear what you're saying. So yeah, definitely don't feel bad for that. Like your health is like number one, right? And I hope on the raid train, your own raid trains, you're not on there like 14, 16 hours, because that's a lot. Like, I have a feeling you are on there the whole day.
Most of the time I try to support. There's been times I actually one of the first when I said I meant gone to the ER and they gave me the antibiotics the week before I went in to get admitted. Um, it was a high school year's rate. Actually, no, sorry, it was when I got admitted. I was running my high school year's rate train. And I remember the last person on the train. I did my set early on. The last person on the train was Forever Seeps, and she's playing some great music. But I remember at that point I was starting to get fatigued and something was hurting. So I
Mhm.
remember just laying on my bed, but having her music on and just deciding whether I wanted to go to the ER or not or write it out. But I just always remember like I was finishing up that raid train, and then, towards the end I'm just like, something's wrong. I gotta go, so
Mhm.
that's that. But it's funny how certain things will happen like that. Always off topic, but I tell my daughter when I had an appendicitis years ago, I was like, I'm gonna use this in all your life, is that I still made and took you lunch that day and then went to the doctor, got told it was nothing, and then went straight to the ER, and then I had an appendicitis that night.
Oh my
But
gosh.
on the funny side, I'd say like I still made you lunch, and I should have been in surgery. So never forget
Aw.
that girl.
Aw, man. What'd you make her? Was it a cheese sandwich? What
It
did
was
you
probably
make
something
her?
simple like mac and cheese or mac and cheese and white rice or
Peanut peanut butter and
grilled
jelly
cheese, quesadilla,
sandwich?
something like that. Yeah,
She's so cute. She
yeah.
looks just like you
Pasta.
as well, to your daughter.
Yeah.
She's very cute. And she must be
Hey,
in what,
Izzy
grade
Dex.
she's probably in grade 7 or 8. No, probably grade 8, 13, right?
She's grade 7th grade, 13 years old.
Oh, 13 years old. And she's pretty too. So I think
Oh,
I
thank you.
said in your stream, you might have to lock her in the house, away from all the boys, because 13, and she's a pretty girl too. So
Thank you.
yeah. Wow. So if you guys have any questions too, drop them in the chat. I know it's going so fast. It's already been close to an hour and a half. It's crazy. How
Yeah.
are you doing too? I don't want to take too much of your
I'm doing good.
time
No,
as
I'm doing good
well.
on this side.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, I know we definitely have Blockbuster's tribe
Be
here.
class.
Oh yeah, it's so true. Actually,
It's,
I was gonna say, guys, I always talk about the curls on my show. I should have actually pulled a picture of you, because the last I don't know if it was an old show you did or if you're playing clips from an old show, but you had like shorter hair and it was like all
yeah.
curly, but it was short. And I'm like, that's the hair. Blockbuster's got the hair. Like, because I always talk about like curly hair on my show, like a little crazy. This girl, Xtina, I think she's in the room. She knows. I always talk about her hair, anyone with curls. So when I saw you, I started smiling. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's got the cut. I should be playing this on my show. Yeah, you definitely look different from the short curly hair to the longer hair as well.
Yeah, I
So
in 2020 I usually got haircuts like every month, little less than a month. In high school I got haircuts every week. I had a shaved head and I wanted that fade. Sometimes I get it every 5 days, and I get it like lined up and stuff. But I grew my hair in
how are you
college a little
doing?
bit.
How are you gonna do a short little fade when you got the
Yeah.
curls
Well,
like
that
this
was in
girl
high school.
Xtina? Oh
That
yeah,
was
that's
it.
nice.
That was a little
But I
bit,
mean, you
but
got the curls like this girl Xtina. So
well,
she's saying
I
it
had this. I had
confidently.
this as a kid when I was a toddler. I never really had curly hair. I had like slick back hair, And then
Oh, okay.
in 2020, when everything shut down, I was about to get a haircut, and then I put a stop, and I didn't stop growing my hair since. So
You
my
had
hair
the
was
Slater
long.
hair from, like, Saved by the Bell. Did you ever do that with the long mullet? Like, the long
No,
curly bounty
definitely
hair,
not.
and
Definitely
then
not.
he had,
No,
like, a few lines on the side? No?
no,
I mean, it's
acid
all
wash
coming back
creams,
now. It's all coming back now, so
buddy bands. Like,
you gotta thank your parents. You gotta thank your parents for the curl. Did you probably get it from your mom, right? Not your dad? I can't tell. He's wearing a hat.
I don't know. My dad used to have long hair when he was a teen and younger.
Okay.
Um, yeah, my hair it got pretty long. It's just with when I started going through chemo, the doctor had said, because the question was, am I gonna lose my hair? Because that's it happens a lot in chemo. And he
Mhm.
said, no, with the stuff you're taking, you're not gonna lose it. It might thin out, but you're not gonna lose it. So okay. So like as the progression has gone on, it hasn't come out like in clumps, but it's been going up. So it was down. It can probably at the longest it could probably reach here, and that's where it was. And
Yeah,
progressively, it's gone up and up and up to what it is now. So I don't know if it's gonna
yeah.
stay like this for a while or keep going up, but it's got this curl effect. It's been having it for like the last like month or so, maybe 3 weeks, something like that.
Oh, that's interesting. So Chubby Thor says, let's see here, "You'll be Slater, I'll be Zach."
Okay, preppy.
That yeah, that could happen, but then he's gonna have to chop off his hair, so let's see here. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I missed any questions here. Oh, DJ Gemini, you guys have any other questions for Blockbuster? Drop it in the chat. How does it feel to have
Ooh,
Seth as one of your friends now? And
it's
maybe
awesome, man.
give background on Seth. Isn't he the Lakers NBA player
Yeah, Cedric
on Twitch?
Ceballos, my favorite team. Blissfully dope. What's up? My
I
favorite
didn't even
Lakers
know.
team. I was a big Lakers fan in the 90s.
Yeah.
And my team was specifically like 93 to 98. Those Lakers, I watched them religiously. I kept score in notebooks. I still have them at my parents' house. I should tell them to bring them up sometime so I can show on stream. Like I kept track of point by point by point. Cedric Ceballos came over to the Lakers, and I always remember he had a 50-point game, and he just like he could do everything. He could shoot threes. He can dunk. He had the defense, assists, all that stuff. And him, Nick Van Exel, and Eddie Jones are like my three players. And so one day I was in Gemini stream, and Gemini and Sistar mentioned about Cedric Ceballos. He mentioned that Sistar Sirius was a moderator for Cedric Ceballos. I'm like, what? And
Mhm.
then like, what do you mean he's on Twitch? Because I knew he was in music. I didn't know he DJ'd, but I knew he was in music. I remember he had an album out, and there was a basketball compilation with basketball players rapping as well. And so I followed Cedric Ceballos. I went in his stream and stuff, and then Sistar set up offered me my first raid train, which was Patrick's vinyl and Cedric Ceballos for Cedric Ceballos Foundation. And I got to play on the same raid train as Cedric Ceballos. And then I had him in my chat. And I always remember the one line I was playing. I think it was Above the Law. Um, what's that song? I'm drawing a blank. VSOP by Above the Law. Korea 007 knows what's up. He's in the chat. And I was playing
Mhm.
that in another song, and Cedric Ceballos is like, man, you bumping. And I was like, this just amazed me that he's in my chat. You can't see on the shelf above me, the highest one. I have like a program of the Lakers, and I showed it on the stream.
Oh, wow.
But now I'm in his stream like all the time, as much as I can in the mornings, morning curfew, fam, Sistar Sirius, Gemini, Beyond Creative, DGS 619. It's like a family there. We're always there, and he's doing his morning show, and then he pops up in my streams every now and again. I'm always like amazed. Like this is a guy like I grew up idolizing on watching on TV, playing these games, and he's in my chat right now. And I tell people that too. I'm like, Cedric Ceballos comes in my chat. They're like, what do you mean he comes in your chat? I'm like, yeah, Cedric Ceballos. He chills in my chat at times, and they're like, wow, they can't believe it. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's been a great,
There's
great.
probably a lot. Mhm. Oh, I think it just froze there. Okay, I think you're good. There's probably so many people from like that have different user IDs, and you have no idea that they're famous, but they actually are under just
True.
a regular user ID on Twitch. I know a lot of people have told me that, so I'm always suspicious. And that's why I
Yeah.
always Google. I'm like, okay, let's VIP them. Let's VIP their pick. But yeah, I think he came through. Yeah, he used to come through a little bit more earlier on, and they said, "Oh, do you know who that is?" I'm like, "No, because I don't really know the who's who, and it's probably good that I don't know, right?" And yeah, he's very down to earth. He does a great show, very down to earth guy too, for
Yeah.
sure. Have you had any other situations, like cool situations, where people have come through your chat and you're like, "Oh wow," like anyone, any producers or anyone kind of famous on
Um,
Twitch?
I think when Icy Ice finally came in my chat, he was there for a couple weeks. The fact when they come back, another one actually, Tara NYC, um, who if those don't know out of New York, she was involved with, I think she was one of the DJs for one of the Oscar ceremonies, courtesy of Questlove, and Questlove had her on his birthday stream, I think in 2021, where it's all female DJs. She's a great person, and I remember she came in to, I think, DJ Franchise's hour on the High School Years Rate Train, and she said, "Oh, this is a cool concept. Who does this?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's DJ Terra NYC," asking about my Rate Train. And when it came to my slot, she was still there, and then I had a connection issue, and my stream dropped, and then I came back on, and she came back in the stream and followed. And I was like, that's awesome, And I reached out to her to do the High School Years Rate Train. She couldn't do it in this month, and she said check back with me in May, but I definitely want to be a
Mhm.
part of it.
For
So that's
sure.
another one that I've enjoyed. Um,
That's super dope. Like, you never know who's watching, right? Have you guys in
yeah.
the chat ever had anyone come through that you were shocked with? I think when I check my analytics, it was like Jazzy Jeff a few times over the
Oh, really?
years. Never said anything, but just lurking. And who else? Just about a month or two ago, Cypress Hill. I didn't know he did a podcast show,
Oh, Be
and
Real.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, oh, who's this? Looking, and sure enough, it was like Cypress Hill, which I thought was pretty cool. I didn't know he was on Twitch. And when we did Pam the Functress with Alex Mejia and the guys in the Bay Area, they're like, "Hey, Honeyflow, you know who's in your chat?" And thank God I missed all the messages like today, like all you guys. Sorry, but I catch them in the replay. But it was the producer from the Loonies, and if I would have known he was in my chat, I would have been probably like freaking out a little bit, like hiding, a little scared. But I mean, they're people too, right? But it is kind of cool that you never know
Yeah.
who's on Twitch, right? Or who's
Exactly.
watching, and who can be like lurking at any time, which is pretty interesting. How do we know Irish Dragon or DGS can be an undercover celebrity? What about Wizard?
Right.
Wizard of CV. Well, actually, I think
Oh,
he's
there we
part
go.
of
Yeah.
the
Sorry. Chicano Batman. My friend's brother is in Chicano
Oh,
Batman, the group, and I interviewed him recently and did a whole Chicano Batman set and had him on stream and asked him a bunch of music questions. And that was a really cool show. That was the first like interview I did live. I'd done my series, the Feeling the Music series, which you can find at feelingmusicseries.com, which I interviewed a bunch of family and friends and asked them music questions in the 2020, 21 days.
actually, can you
And
guys drop the link? Could someone drop the link? What is it called again? To check
uh,
your
it's
uh
feeling, so no G, it's
mhm,
feeling the music series.com.
mhm. Okay, so if someone could just drop the link in the chat for me and I'll try pinning it, that would be good. So they can go back and check all your kind of podcasts or your talk shows that you do as well, right? Oh, here
Yeah.
it is. Thank you,
Yeah, I have
Mr.
some like
Loudhouse.
pop
Appreciate it.
culture like blogs on there too, where I dissect like Color Me Bad's I Adore Me and More music video.
Oh.
Um, I showcase some things like I found a Miller's Outpost 1996 compilation, Miller's Outpost before Anchor Blue, which a CD that had a bunch of good songs on it that I didn't know existed. Just I like to point out certain stuff like that, like when Jesse Powell passed away and I posted some video links for some of my favorites. I should get back. I wanted to get back into it and be more like productive and more consistent with. I just haven't been able to, but I like pop culture a lot, so I like to do what I can.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and people are saying you're like a music encyclopedia, which is true. I can see that. Like, where does that all come from? Because you don't just play the artist. It's like you know different things about
Um,
them as well.
Research. A lot of it really comes from 1996 to 2002, 2003. Like I really was in tune to everything, and a lot of it was keeping track. So like I said, for example, I'd watch an episode of Rap City, and I wanted to record music videos, and I ended up recording like close to 2,000 videos on the VHS.
Wow.
And no tattoos, G class, no
Yeah, I
tattoos.
was gonna ask, do you have a tattoo? I was gonna be like, show us your tattoo. Or maybe
And
not, but,
yeah,
but I was like,
so
"Does he really have a 96 on his chest? He's really serious about the 96." I was trying to hide it when I was on your raid train. I'm like, "Sorry, I don't wanna post," not to give you a hard time, but I'm like, "I don't wanna post my year,"
yeah,
because I thought you were 15 years younger than me too. I thought
yeah.
everyone was a youngin. I'm like, "There's no way I'm gonna be the granny on this raid train. I am not posting
We've
1996."
had somebody from 77, 78 graduate, so everybody
Yeah,
always worries, like, "Am I the oldest person on this train?" Like,
it doesn't really
I gra
matter actually,
I
your
graduated in
age.
'91. It's like, "No, not by far," you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to hide it as much as I can, so
But yeah, I would do, like I would watch an episode of Rhapsody knowing I'm gonna record something,
Mhm,
and it's like, "Well, I'm here, let me just keep track." And it was the purpose was in case they showed a rerun, I can get that video if I missed it.
mhm.
But then as I started to do it more, I'm like, "Hey, this can be like an archive." So, like, I have binders with just episodes of Rap City, Midnight Love, MTV's Most Wanted Jams. I have TRL countdowns on note cards, 106 in Park countdowns. Pretty
Oh,
much when I
wow.
got to college, I stopped. It was mostly more of a high school thing, but I did the
Mhm,
first like year maybe. But I would do a lot of research. I would just like I would know what's on CDs. I would know um, like what was out there on the radio. I would know singles that were released to radio, but no video single, featured artists. Like I just started to get in tune so much here and there, and it all just clicked. So that's where a lot of my knowledge comes from. And then throughout the years, just digging, looking for samples, covers, and then just kind of building your library in your head. And it's harder now. Like there's definitely songs that like I don't know the title. Like I just hear it. When you get older, you're not more in tune. And back then we looked at a CD booklet, we looked at the back of a cassette, we unfolded the inside, or you looked on the back of a vinyl. Now it's digital. You
mhm.
just click it, and it's like I like the song, but you don't really have that connection you do when you play something on vinyl, or when we used to listen to CDs and had to choose between 15 to 18 tracks or cassette and rewind
Oh, yeah, with the
and fast
pencil
forward
or
and stuff. So
press
more knowledge
play.
came from doing more.
Yeah, that's true. DJ Gemini says, "Jerry be like Carson Daly." That's hilarious. Yeah, with your knowledge, that's true. When you talk, I'm like, "Oh, have you ever thought about, like" that's one regret I had. I wish I would have been like a VJ. Like, I don't know if you guys got much music out there, but
Yeah.
like, the 106 in Park or something like that, like being a
Yeah, you
VJ.
guys had much more music, right? In
Yeah,
Canada.
we had much more music and
Yeah.
Electric Circus, they'd be dancing,
So there
and
was you guys had Rap City too, a different
Rap
Rap City.
City. Yes,
And
yeah.
I discovered it because the cable we got was digital, and it had the channel in my senior year of high school. And all the videos I had, I kept track. There was certain videos I missed growing up, and one of them was Busta Rhymes, Janae, It's a Party. I just didn't have it. So I emailed Rap City in Canada, and I said,
Mhm.
"Hey, I've recorded so many music videos. One of the like 20 videos I really want I don't have is It's a Party. If you guys can play it, it'd be great. If not, I understand. You probably get requests, whatever." And a couple days later, they played it, and it said
Cool.
for Jerry in San Diego or something, and I was like, "Oh, they've actually played it. That's awesome.
That's
That's so
cool
quick."
that they played
Yeah,
it. Wow. Yeah, we
yeah,
had Master T, and he would have a keyboard.
yeah. I
What was it,
remember.
guys? Called Roxy. That's really cool that you actually know. It's crazy that you remember Master T because I am thinking about shooting my shot.
Oh yeah,
Only I wanna shoot my shot with him, and no one else take that either. Don't take that shot first, but Normally I wouldn't say it, but I'm like, you know what? I should try to get a hold of Master T because he would be a great interview. Because he was exceptional at interviewing, and if you watch Rap City, some of those guys,
Mhm.
those VJs, they just were like amazing, not just interviewers, but journalists, right? In hip hop.
I remember,
But that's
yeah,
cool
yeah,
that you know about some Canadian shows. That's pretty cool.
yeah. I
Most
know.
people don't.
What I remember most about Much More Music was, or Much Music was Rap City, Master T. One of the VJs went to VH1 and she got bigger. I forgot what her name was. And then like the certain groups and artists I remember was Cardinal Official, the
Mhm.
Rascals,
Yes.
um, Matthew
Wow, look at you.
Goodband. Matthew Goodband was big in Canada, but they weren't big down here. Remember they
Yeah.
dominated countdowns and stuff. And I was like, who are they? And I just started listening to them. And who was the other one? They were down with the same rap group was Chocolare. That was the other one.
Oh, Choclair, yeah. Maestro Fresh West. I mean, the list goes on. Mishi Me. Yeah, a lot of great. Oh man, you're gonna
Sworn
make me pull.
members,
Yeah. Wow. I'm
Mocha
impressed.
Oni.
You know these guys.
Mocha Oni had some
What?
cool stuff back in the day. Yeah,
Socrates. You guys know these guys?
yeah.
Yeah, J Swan Music mentioned Socrates, I think, in our interview. That's awesome that you guys actually know a little bit about Canadian hip hop. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Um, Irish Dragons like shoots some shots. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat.
Is that my cousin Freddie in the chat?
Wow, you got your whole family here. Wow, I feel like I need to like get a barbecue ready for all you guys, like a family barbecue or something.
Yeah.
Got your cousins, your girlfriend, your parents, your uncles. That's so dope. I love
Yeah, my
it.
parents are actually here, and then my girlfriend is right here as well. So they're off camera here in the room.
Okay. Have you ever
Yeah.
brought her on camera or no?
She let me get it.
I mean,
I always have it close for
we don't have to-
Christmas.
Mhm.
For Christmas with my gift, she gave me this. Which
Oh,
there
what
you
is
go.
that? Let's see here. I'm going to
One
zoom in.
appearance by Shiny Crafter. She just
Oh,
added
she's never.
as the channel point redemption, if you can see.
Oh yeah, there it
So
is. So she's never come on camera.
I
No?
cashed it in. I did, yes.
Oh,
So she
okay.
did, yeah. So
Oh,
she
look
came
at
in one
that.
time.
I see some vinyls. How many vinyls you think you got? I see some in the background there.
Now I probably have maybe close to 300,
Oh wow,
300-ish. This
that's
is
really
more.
good.
There's more off to the side, and there's another spot over here. But yeah, I have some on behind me. And I'm still trying to get vinyl. I've tried a couple times to get it work on stream, and I'm missing something on the connection. So I want to try again, but definitely want to get vinyl, going on stream.
For sure. So I was going to ask you, I mean, since you're a 90s guy, I'm such a 90s girl as well. What would be like, I guess, your top 3 hip hop groups you would say from the 90s?
Top
There's
3
just
hip
too
hop
many.
groups. The Roots,
Mhm.
Gangstar would be 2 of them. Man, the third one. Those 2 always stand out, at least.
Mhm. Great groups.
I mean, there's multiple come to mind. Like, I know Dog Pound really had, a short success. They've been around for years, but they had, a short success. Albums. I always liked their album, Dog Food. Also, who else? Wu-Tang Clan is going to be up there. That's hard. Actually, you know what? Tribe. It's going to be Tribe.
Yeah, Tribe,
Yeah,
definitely.
De La Soul with a close 4th probably, but Tribe, The Roots, and Gangstar would be up there.
What about R&B? Like for the 90s, what would be your top groups?
R&B groups, Blackstreet would be up there. I'm more solo artists off the top of my head. But the first group that comes to mind is Blackstreet for sure when it comes to R&B 90s.
Mhm. Throw them in the chat too, you guys. What are your top groups? I was going to say maybe make it more specific and say like girl groups and boy groups, but we don't have to be that specific. But I was thinking about that too. But any top 3 R&B, it's hard though. There was so much great R&B back in the day.
Yeah, there's a lot, and it's hard to. And I pose these questions to people too, but I give them time to
To
think
think
about it on
about
top of
it
my head.
instead of throwing it on
Because
the spot.
when I think of like solo artists, like Maxwell and Brian McKnight will be up
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Tamia, even though she had more success, in the '90s versus after.
I feel like
Um,
she was so underrated to I just saw
yeah, she was.
Tamia and Joe. I drove out to New York on my own and literally
Adriana
just
Evans, I always preach. Icy Vamp knows this. Adriana Evans, I wish she had more success.
Mhm.
What a voice! I play her music as much as I can. She's the one that has "Seen Is Believing" as her single in '97. Um, I wish she had more, but she missed the neo soul movement. She was too early by like a year and a half when
Mhm.
everybody started to pop up, and it's a shame because she deserved more.
Yeah, I'm just looking at what the chat's saying. Sistar says, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, DGS says Jodeci. Yenta says Boys to Men. Um, oh, your dad, is it Wizard says All Men Brothers. Let's see
Yeah, my
here.
dad likes to just throw out stuff just to get attention. Just so
I
you
was
guys know
like,
in the chat. So
oh
the
man,
best thing
that's
to do
hilarious.
is just
I was
let
like,
it scroll in
oh,
the chat.
okay.
Like don't call it
I'm like
out.
90s. I'm
Let
scratching
it
my head like
be.
I'm confused.
It always has to go out the box. You say '90s, they'll say Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's like, yeah, I
Oh my
like Earth,
gosh.
Wind, and Fire,
It's
but
so
we're talking about
funny.
'90s. Yeah.
90s. Jam says, of course, those are my top female groups, SWV and Escape, hands down.
Jams
Those
is
are
here.
my top.
Jessica's my college homie right there.
Oh, nice. Oh, what? G class says in sync. I don't know if I pick in sync. Is he just messing with me? I don't know. Oh, your dad says EWF.
Hey,
um,
NSYNC, Gloria Estefan, "Music from My Heart" is such an underrated song. I'll give them that. And
Irish is
Gone.
like no
I've always
diggity.
liked Gone. Gone, I think, is their best track.
The boy groups, so many. Silk and Shy or like H Town a lot. Jodeci. Yeah, definitely so many great ones as well. Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we are definitely going to wrap up here, guys, in a little bit. Ooh, Marie says mint condition. That's a good one.
And Condition's a good
Uh,
one, yes.
DGS says Lucy Pearl was 2000s. Oh yeah, around 2000s. How you doing, DJ Bobby, as well?
If
Good to
this if
see.
this was like that Key and Peele sketch with a substitute teacher,
Hmm.
it'd be the G's 619, and it'd be Tina Marie instead of Tina Marie 23. For
Oh,
those of you who know the sketch. Right,
oh
Sistar
gosh.
Serious? Sistar?
All right, let's see here. So, yeah, if there could be any like one you could actually work with, who would that be? Like, say if you could tour with an artist or something, would there be one that you would love to maybe do a show with or work with? Doesn't have to be another artist, could just be, I don't know, maybe someone famous. Like, is there anyone that comes to mind?
Tour like how? Like in what aspect?
Like say if you were touring around the world and maybe DJing for them, or maybe you could put an artist on your show and you could work with an artist, like someone that you really look up to.
Oh, my show?
Uh, yeah, like who would that be? And it may
I
not have
mean,
to be an artist, could be like a sports player or
yeah. Well,
or
Sister
someone
already
different.
knows that she threw it out there. Like we'd get Cedric Saballs to do it if I ever got my stuff together and made it work out. For sure.
I
Um,
think you can make that happen with him. He
yeah,
knows who
no,
you
for sure.
are.
As far
Yeah.
as like any artist, I
Just
would
try to get a
love.
jersey from him. That's what you should do.
I
I
know.
would definitely do that. I would definitely get my mods DMing him and just being like, "Hey, is there any way that you can, like, just say how much you look up to him and be like, is there any way I can get a framed jersey from you
Mm.
and your sneakers while I'm at it?"
Well,
He's
G
probably
Class
got
wanted
like,
me to get his blindfold from his slam dunk.
oh yeah.
Like, I know about that, G Class. There's a lot of people who I would love to talk to, and that's a tough question. And also, what always goes through my mind is that Neil Armstrong is one who used to preach this. He's like, you don't want to meet your idols because they're always going to disappoint you. So it's like, man,
Yeah.
that always goes through my head. Um, Mayor Hawthorne would be up there. Somebody I would
Hmm.
like to, talk to. Actually, you know what? If she was still alive, Sharon Jones would be somebody who I would
Oh,
have loved to
yes.
talk to. Sharon Jones
Sharon
was such a
Jones?
soul. Yeah, Sharon Jones.
Did you go to her concert? I
I
went to
I
one
saw
concert.
her yeah, I saw her 2 months before she passed over here in Santa Cruz in
Wow.
the area. She was incredible, and she was
She
going through
was
a second round
incredible.
of cancer, and,
Yeah.
you would never believe that what she was going through, even though it was public,
Mhm.
like, she put so much energy into her show
Into her
still.
shows? Yeah. She was like for all you
Yeah.
guys that don't know, Sharon Jones was like a Tina Turner. Like, I remember in my 20s, she dragged me on stage and I was like, "Ah, crap, I can't dance like her," you know?
Oh,
And
did
she's
she?
doing all these Tina Turner moves and she's like, "Come here, little sugar." And she'd be like, calling all these like young little guys like sugar and baby and whatever, like kind of scaring them a little bit. But she'd be
Yeah.
like, "Come here, baby. Come here, little sugar. Come up on stage, and dance." And I don't know how it happened, but she ended up pulling me on stage, and I'm like, "I'm gonna look so awkward on stage." Like, I'm like, "Oh, I can't do this." But I'm like, "It's Sharon Jones. Who cares?" You know? And,
Yeah.
she was just jamming, like, oh, man, that woman had presence like a Prince, like a Tina Turner on
Yeah,
stage.
she
Yeah,
had
I was
such a
blown
stage
away.
presence, no doubt, yeah.
She did, yeah, and I felt like she was underrated too because she was so like, her energy and her performing, right, was definitely like
Mm.
Tina Turner, so I thought she should have gone even further, like, bigger than she was, you know? Did you watch her
Yeah.
documentary? It was really good
Yeah,
too.
actually, I don't buy a lot of stuff digitally, and that's one of the, like, the 6 or 7 things I actually purchased, rather than just watching on streaming, and Miss Sharon Jones is one of those, and I watched that a few months ago again. It always hits because she did the same. It's kinda like what that's kinda like why I wanna do it. I wanna share, what I'm going through, and that's what she did in the documentary. She wanted to show people exactly what she was going through while she was still making music, the troubles of it, and, the upswing, and, she beat her first bout of cancer, but then unfortunately second one, came back, and the sad ending to it, but she put it out there for everybody else too, and I really commend her for that because nobody has to or wants to see that part of it, but for the people that want to share it, that it can help. It can definitely help because you
Mhm.
find yourself in a situation, it can definitely add a layer to something that will help you in life.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah, oh, DJ Gemini says,
Mm.
Prince joined her on stage. That's amazing,
Yeah, that's a
right?
great clip. I know the one he's talking
Oh,
about too. Yeah,
that
that's a
would
great
be a
one.
great concert to go to, seeing them both on stage. Or I would have
Yeah.
loved to see, Pam the Funktress too with, performing with Prince.
Mhm.
Like, I was able to see her maybe when I was 21, and she was the one that got me, like, sparked up for DJing when I saw her. It's like she was a crazy DJ. Is there any, DJs or anyone that you've, like, really looked up to too over the years?
Um, over the years, I mean, you're talking about like the pros like DJ Premier and Pete Rock,
Mhm. Yeah.
two that are gonna stand up top all the time. Um, I'll talk about the Twitch world. DJ Franchise, he's been, like I said, he's been such a great connection because he had the family element, before I started streaming. He was doing Sunday oldies. He was doing he'd do Wednesday trivia, and then his mom and dad were in the chat all the time. His mom was a lot. His dad was like, they called him the sub king because he would just come in and just sub everybody left and right. His sister and his brother-in-law were in there. His wife, occasionally his oldest daughter would pop in. Um, Franta has done a lot. He worked at Def Jam for a little bit. He's been in the industry for years. Such a great person. And I introduced like my family to his streams, and we started connecting, and it became like a family. We never met him in person, but it became like family. And
Mhm.
I've always looked up to that part because he's always stayed humble. He's always been very welcoming. He's always about the music and the people. He's never about, how many people he has on the stream. He's never about, who likes his music or not, or what he's playing. So I've always looked up to that part. And DJ Rumor, even though he's not on Twitch anymore, he's one for the Knicks and Rangers. He does Madison Square Garden. He's
Wow.
done the New York Marathon. He's done the MLS, like a pregame show for the All Stars. the Westminster Dog Show. He's done one of the tennis matches. I don't know, one of the championships. And he's always been a humble dude too. He's the same thing. He's like me with the music. He always wants to give years, facts, and all that kind of stuff. And he did my show, Feeling the Music, twice. He was up for it twice, and he said he'd do it again because he loves talking music. So he's
Nice.
a regular guy, and we made that connection. And he's in the spotlight all the time. So those two will probably stand out as two that I've always looked up to as far as like more connected to than the celebrities.
Yeah, for sure. And were you ever nervous also interviewing anyone? Like anyone that kind of stood to mind? Because you've done a lot of
Um,
interviews too.
I think that once I did, because he was the first one I did that was non family or friends, and then I did Ebony ATL, DJ Neil Armstrong, DJ Showtime.
Mhm.
Um, who's the other one? Well, it was rumored twice, and I think there's one more. I think just as you're gearing up, a little nerve wracking, but I was already comfortable to that point doing all the interviews. It's
Mhm.
just like the next step of all right, here we got other people, um, and that was that. So I did mention the other day I did reach out to Jeanette Gerardo of Expose, the group, the '80s, and I messaged her on Facebook, and she was active. And I look back, and she like just became deactive, like almost like
Oh.
that week. She
Mhm.
stopped like logging in and stuff. And I pitched it to her to say like I'm doing this series. Would you like to do it? And I never got a response because she just stopped doing it. And
Try to get their emails. That's what I heard. Like
yeah,
from
that would
bigger
have been
people. Like some bigger people, they're like, we get way too many DMs, right? So
yeah,
they miss a lot. I mean, like we all miss a lot. I've missed so many messages on Twitch and Instagram
yeah,
and everywhere else from people. But like, I can't imagine them because they're like 100 times, 1,000 times bigger, right?
yeah.
So the advice I've been told is, don't go through any of these apps. If you want to get a hold of someone, get their email and go directly through them. Go through email,
Mhm.
and yeah, and shoot some shots. You never know. You never know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you say Sed was on your show? I know he was on your raid, but have you
No, he
interviewed
he
him?
was on my high school raid train.
Hmm.
Yeah, we
But
got
have
him on that one.
wonder if you could get him for an interview or something. Maybe you never know.
Yeah, Sister had mentioned he'd be open to it. It's just a scheduling thing, and obviously this is throwing a wrench into things what I'm going through.
Yeah,
But
for sure,
that's pretty
definitely.
much what it is scheduling and pitching it and having to make sense. But she's been a big link for me to get stuff. She helped me put some people on some of these raid trains when I started going through this. She like gave me all these people like I got you this, I got you that. They're willing to do it. IQ Remix in the chat, he was one of them. I
Hmm.
got to see when he was on there, and she set up some other ones. So it's just a matter of making it work.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And then do you have anything for the future that you want to do for your shows that you would like to do for the shows that you're doing right now?
What I just started doing was incorporating, showing some of my episodes and then bringing other people in. So to try to migrate to doing like this
Yeah.
with like a live version. And I always wanted to do the live version back when I was doing the recorded, to do a live version of Feeling the Music where I'd ask them certain specific questions, as I've been
Hmm.
asking in those ones. And I've been doing it pretty much once a week during my recovery weeks and doing some kind of variety with it, and incorporating, their selections, and they let me know some stuff so I can pull some video clips ahead of time. And I like doing that. I like making a little mixture to it. And I heard Jace One wants to do. I would love to see Jace One, in the winner circle, as he called to do that. And G Class has done, his streams here and there. He does like tech ones as well. So it gives us more. It opens that door more to like this personal side, like we're doing, rather than just talking on stream and playing the music. And connect. We're still connecting a lot, but this side adds a whole nother element. Like the Jace One music interview was fantastic, and I told him that's, we got so in depth with what he went through in his life, and
Yeah.
add such a big layer, and we knew he was in the industry, and he talked more about what he went through as far as industry, and it adds so much more, and that's why I'm trying to bring other people in like Sistar Sirius and there's a user named Terry LNV who's has the same birthday as me, connected, and I brought her on a stream the other day, and I want to continue to do that and make those connections and let people who aren't streaming kind of get that spotlight to talk about music, and let them shine a little bit. If I
Yeah,
can
so
incorporate other stuff like the Chicano Batman and do other things like that, I definitely want to reach out and reach out to other artists or people connected, and that interests me for sure.
yeah, awesome. Yeah, Jay Swan was an amazing. Just interviewed him. It would like this some of the stories. I hope you caught the replay. Jay Swan music. Wow, some of his stories and his experience in the industry really, you never know. You know, definitely what people go through unless if they share it, right? So that was a great interview for sure. And can you let people know pretty much what your shows are, when your next show is, or how you're
So
doing pop-ups?
right now it's every other week, so it's pretty consistent. Of I do a chemo session every other Tuesday, so like tomorrow I do my fifth round. I'll pretty much be out of commission till next Tuesday. There's been times I feel better like on a Sunday or Monday, but I don't want to push myself too much. So it becomes, hey, I'm back on a Tuesday or even a Monday, and then I see what my body can take and just do pop ups. I love the morning streams, but I can't do it right now because my body doesn't really let me. So
Mhm.
I've progressed to doing like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. on the West Coast. The most consistent is going to be the Sunday night. So every other Sunday, it can be 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock p.m. You got to chill. That's my favorite stream to do. I do all genres, all chill music. Obviously the Raid Train. I did all slow jams from '97 2001, but I love that show a lot. And then yeah, the other ones are pop ups. So notifications are big, and I post on social media, but it's mostly afternoon ones, and they'll just be various days. So like if I do a Tuesday, I might be off Wednesday and do Thursday and Friday, off Saturday. Um, I've done 9 in a row before during chemo, which was incredible. And I think about it, I don't know if I'm gonna do 9 in a row for a while, but
Oh my
I
goodness.
try to do
Are
at least 3 to 4 streams during my recovery week.
Yeah, it's a lot. And you're standing, right? Or are you sitting? It might
Combination, yeah,
Yeah, it makes sense
combination.
to try to sit too, but it might be hard if you're sitting for so long as well. So you probably
Yeah,
gotta stretch too, right?
I liked like yesterday when I did it. Be when I got out of the hospital, I might want to sit down for this one, but no, it also helps motivate me. Like I can stand, I can do this, and I
Mhm.
can push for an hour ish, and I'll do this, and that's how I take it. But if I know my body's not taking it a day 100%, 90%, I'll be like, I should probably sit down for this one. That's why I incorporated two, the interview one, so it gives me a chance to sit down too for the whole thing.
For sure, yeah. And how can people support you? Like, I believe I wasn't sure if
Mm.
some of these guys are doing a raid train, or
Yes, yes.
how can we
So
support you? If anyone in the room, definitely feels, led, definitely support Blockbuster Radio in any way we can, and not only with prayers, but how we can really support him and be there for him and his family. That's essential. And even this community is such an awesome community. I know Mr.
yes,
Latin House and a few others have
yeah.
really stepped up to the plate to fundraise. So let's see
So what?
here. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
this is a
what he
good
just put in the
message
chat
here.
right there. That's the raid train going from May 31st to June 9th. Consistent. The goal is 10,000, and it's for my dad's organization, which is Prostate Cancer Awareness for Life,
Mhm.
PCA for life.org, with the word for, not the number for. And that's the best way to support my family. My dad puts a lot of effort into that. He started that after my one of my tatas passed away from prostate cancer. So he's done that to work with the community, and he's progressively been stepping it up and connecting with more national organizations. He does a golf tournament, which is in September this year. He did it September last year. I was there at the one in September last year, and he has a dance coming up this Saturday in San Diego, which is a fundraiser. They do like they're associated with like cancer walks and stuff like that. But yeah, this raid train's gonna go. All the proceeds are gonna go to PACA for life.org. Um, And if you guys want to see it, like I said, it's PCAFOR life.org. If you guys want to see the website, you
Yeah,
can
if you
always
guys
donate anytime, but the raid
yeah.
train is going to be for that.
Okay, if you guys could, if actually what would help, Mr. Landhouse, if you could maybe just post the link of that. I think that was what the raid train to sign up, right? For everyone. So we could definitely get there, guys.
I posted the
10,000.
actual website in the
Oh,
chat right
okay.
now.
Let's see here. Okay, yeah, that would be good. Okay, so if anyone, oh, thank you so much. Thanks, Mr. Landhouse, as well. Yeah, so you guys definitely look up this link if you, feel led, to support. Definitely do that, and then also look at the message above, Mr. Landhouse, for DJs signing up. If you're interested, if you're a streamer and you want to jump on board and be a part of this raid train. It runs May 31st to June 9th. Wow, lots of days. And Mr. Aladdin House is always busy, doing like various fundraisers. There's going to be
Yeah, big
120
time.
DJs around the globe, 240 hours of streaming in 10 days. And 100% of the proceeds are going to go to the MCA4Life.org Foundation, which is his father's foundation. Wow. So that's amazing. So any DJs that want to sign up, then make sure
Yes,
you
do
guys
so.
grab the link as well. And I just want to thank you so much. I'm not going to take too much of your time too, because I know we're over 2 hours. And I know I could chop it up another 4 hours with you as well.
Right.
It's been such a pleasure having you today. This was just literally a pop up. I don't normally do shows on Monday. I thought it was Wednesday today. I was going around saying it was Wednesday because that's when I usually do my talk show. So I want to thank everyone for joining me. You guys are awesome. You sticking around for over 2 hours this long. So make sure you kind of get up and stretch and
Yes.
after and get some food and or a drink or something. But yeah, thank you for coming on board and being so down to earth too. I've interviewed over 200 people and they've been amazing, but I really feel that from you. You're such a down to earth
Thank you. Yeah.
person, and you could tell that you truly love music, and it comes from like a pure heart, And sometimes that's hard to find in this, especially in entertainment or this industry. So I just want to say you're a true gem, and and hang in there and keep having the faith and and surround yourself. I know we have a great community of people here that love you, and those were only a few messages.
Yeah.
I know there are so many more that probably wanted to give me messages. Yeah, and you guys, if you guys listen to a show too, before we leave, drop a comment for Blockbuster Music, what his show is meant to you or who he is as a person. If you know him personally, just drop a positive comment for him before we raid out. I think that would be awesome to do. DJ Gemini, we'll start with him. He says he's the real deal.
Gemini's been a great link on Twitch too. We joke around a lot, but he's been a lot to me on Twitch, and he knows that, and it's been great to link up with him 100%.
Yeah, for sure. DGS says you've got this. And then Orm20 says, and thank you guys for all the video clips. That was awesome. He says, peace to everyone. Let's see here.
I'm gonna cry off stream. By the way, I'm surprised I've
okay.
been able to hold this together so long with all this support and everybody. So
That's
I'll let
okay.
myself flow off.
You know
camera
what?
or
You don't
whatever.
even, honestly, it doesn't even really matter, dude. Like, that's why they call me the Barbara Walters of Twitch, just an FYI for you. I'm not saying I've made people cry, but like lots of guys have come on my show and cried. Heck, I cry. I
Yeah,
cry all the time on my show, Nothing wrong with showing emotion. That's okay. It shows that people
absolutely.
love
Yeah,
you, they care about you, and it's the same thing with this community. It's been such an awesome community that's helped all of us. That's pulled out not only music, but like stories, like real stories out of us that maybe we haven't talked about, right?
yeah.
So I think that's what's really special. Jam says, so there's nothing wrong with shedding a tear. It just means that you care. You care
Yeah,
about
I
people.
preach that to my daughter since she started like talking. I said never hold back emotion.
Hmm.
and she's the one who opened up that to me. Before that, I don't think I ever had emotion before my daughter was born, like to that extent. And
Yeah.
everything just kind of become waterworks faucet because
Yeah.
she opened up something inside of me that was like, a man, that's another level.
That's awesome, and that's beautiful too, and, Jam says, "Jerry is the best. He's a great friend and my favorite DJ." Jesus, like, all these people are here for you.
Jesus, San Diego, yes.
Yeah, Jesus SD says, "Great DJ, knowledgeable, and a great man. Blockbuster is the man." Irish is like, "Big love to you."
Bobby Ill, what up, Bobby Ill?
Let's see who else is here. I'm trying to read your messages. Oh, Mr. Landhouse says Blockbuster is the place to be. Strong and such an inspirational brother. Jams is throwing up some hearts. Jay Swan Music says there's no crying in baseball. Let's see. Icy Vamp says nothing but love. Inked Sweetheart, you got to do a show, girl. You got to do a show.
Yes.
She says, "You're amazing, Jerry." Let's see here. Orm says, "Ooh, mojito sound." Oh, I thought he said one mojito at a
What?
time. I'm thinking about mojitos right now. One day at a time. Uh, let's see here. Um, Oh, Sistar, you gotta do a show too, girl. You're way too comfortable in front of the camera. She's gotta do a show. She says, "Thankful to have crossed, paths. I love his witty comments in the chat and thankful for him coming up with the fancy calendar command." Um, 9K9 says, "Love you, Blockbuster."
9K9, yes.
Let's see. Yeah, so much love in here. DJ Gemini again says, "Thanks, man. I appreciate your humor and humility or humanity, or is it humility so much? You don't even know, and we're both Geminis." Um, let's see. Chubby Thor. I'm behind on all these comments, guys. Fools Rush in quote, "You're everything I never knew I always wanted as a friend."
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, wow. You guys are really words people. Are you guys poets? Do we have poets in the chat?
I
Like,
know G-Class is a slam poet,
oh,
a
yeah?
very famous slam poet. Yes.
Oh, man. Okay. So DJ Bobby says, "Thanks for reaching out and inviting me to the Twitch fam. Love you, brutta. Brutta from another mutta. Mutta. Okay. That was a horrible accent, guys. Let's see. Just seeing if there's any I missed here. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, Yenta says they write poetry. Okay. And DJ S says, "You're a daily inspiration for me. Extra fuel, extra push always." Awesome. Yeah. So continue to, flood the messages with some nice messages for Blockbuster. So when he catches the replay, he could catch all of them as well. And I just want to know, I don't know if you can see at all, but is there anyone you would like to raid into? I don't know if
Yes,
you can actually
actually,
see.
somebody who I've also been a good person on Twitch, and I try to get more people over there as much as I can because he's been a caring person. DJ E Boogie One, I can type it in the chat actually.
Okay. Oh, I think I have him here. DJ E Boogie One. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I don't think I've seen him for a minute. Definitely a minute.
Yeah, he's always
Um,
always uplift, always happy playing his music, always dancing, always positive. I was in the hospital one of the days I was in the hospital when he was streaming. It's like really gave me a shine. And I think it was a day before I got discharged on one of them. I was like up and at him. I remember my girlfriend came to visit me, and
mhm.
I was just like, hold on, I'm like in the zone. Like I'm using this to boost forward. And yeah, I would love to show him some love.
Okay, awesome. So let's do that. And again, thank you so much for coming on and staying on this long with me. You're awesome. I'm going to try to catch more of your shows as well. Make that a
Thank
point.
you.
I've been kind of MIA for a little minute for sure, but I definitely want to come back and catch you too. So I'll put on my notifications because I've turned them off, but I'll definitely do that. And
Yeah,
thank you
thank you for
guys.
having me on this 100%. I'm glad you reached out to me, and all I want to do is help, touch others and share the journey, and hopefully it can affect them in some way. And I love talking about music as well. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me a part of this.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Is there any, do you want to say anything to the chat too? Anyone in
I
the chat
appreciate
before we
them
take
all.
off?
There's so many fam and friends right now. I don't want to miss anybody. But thank you all. You guys have been G butter snaps. Thank you all for for being there for me, motivating me, and keeping my soul fresh, my heart full, and boosting me through this because I need all the help I can get, and it's done wonders. Your prayers, your friendship, your support. It's all been there, and I thank you all so very much from my heart to yours.
For sure. So definitely check out his show, Blockbuster Music, guys. Keep him in your prayers. For those that believe in the room, definitely do that. And and we'll just continue to see more progress, as the days unfold for sure. And keep in touch too. So we're gonna set up this raid right now. Thank you guys and for all the awesome videos. It was dope. Make sure everyone in the room is adding Blockbuster Music for the one person that doesn't know him. And if you're interested in his raid train, his cool raid train, you could always reach out to him.
Once or twice a month. Music from my high school years. If anybody wants to be on it, let me know if you're a DJ. Always open to it.
Yeah, I want to be on it again too.
You'll be back. I'm gonna reach out to you for May. I'm gonna
Okay,
get those
okay,
dates
good.
here probably in a week or so, and I'll
I
reach out to
secretly, I didn't want to ask because I
Yeah.
normally don't ask people, but like I
Yeah.
secretly was like, oh, I hope you ask me again
Yeah.
because I actually like the raid. But yeah. All right. So let's see here. Okay, so I think the raid is just going through. It's going to be 1 minute.
You got it,
So
9K9.
yeah, so thank you again, you guys, everyone coming through. Too many names to count. Thank you for everyone, all his family, friends that did some videos. J Swan Music, 9K9, G Class, the DJ. Thank you for being here. Yenta, Jesus. We got Shiny Crafter, Icy Vamp, Mr. Latin House, Orm 20, and everyone else that's come through. Gemini, Chubby Thor, so many names, Fancy Dancer, and everyone, Sistar. Thank you guys. Bless up to you guys. I'll see you guys in these Twitch streets, and let's definitely support the next DJ, next streamer, and
Yes.
yeah, let's definitely surprise him and support him. Okay, so it looks like it just went through, and I'm gonna try re-rating one more time.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't know why it misses a lot of people like off the bus. And
Yeah.
if you guys miss the bus, then manually walk over there. DJ Boogie, DJ, is it E Boogie One, right? Or
Yes.
yeah,
J
okay.
Boogie One.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think that is good. Yeah. Wow, it went so fast. This interview, crazy. So yeah, we'll definitely be in touch. And yeah, let's definitely keep in touch for sure. Thank you
Okay.
so much for doing
Cool.
this too.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Take
See ya.
care. Have a great
Yeah, you
night.
too.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye. See you guys.